I'm just gonna run right through these picks really quickly. Just go right through it. So Thursday we got Seattle, Dallas. Uh, I'm leaning towards Dallas just because they've been very good at home and been winning against the spread. And it looks like Seattle's dealing with a bunch of injuries, so I can't really justify picking Seattle. So I'm gonna go with Dallas there. Next we got Indy versus Tennessee. Normally, I like the Colts, but I think they won the first time when they played in Indianapolis. So I think this division's very tricky. So I think that I think that Will Levis and the Colts get it done. And the Titans get it done over the Colts, but I don't feel confident about it just because the way Shane Steichen runs his offense, he just knows what he's doing. But Vrabel, he knows what he's doing as well. So it's two guys that know what they're doing. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Titans. It can go either way. I would stay away, but I'm gonna go with Tennessee. Next, we get LA versus LA Chargers versus the New England Patriots. Uh, I want to pick the Patriots, but they've been burning me. But at the same time, this is a good game that they should win because you got a coach that doesn't know what he's doing, but has a quarterback and skilled guys against a coach that's very good situationally, well, in the past. So I'm going to go with the Patriots. Probably not smart. Probably shouldn't be doing this. You know what? No, I'm going to go to the Chargers. I'm going the Chargers here. I just don't trust the Patriots because the more I think about it, they have nothing to offer on offense. They really have nothing to offer. So I just can't see it. They're gonna be home. It's gonna be cold weather, yeah. But the Chargers should be able to do enough to beat them. They should be able to get it done. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Next, we got the Lions versus the Saints. This is gonna be a tricky game too because the Saints lost against Atlanta, a game they should have won, and Detroit. Did they win last week? I forget if they won. Let me just double check. Detroit. Yeah, they lost to Green Bay. So both teams lost. I really don't know which way to go with this one, but I kind of want to lean towards the Lions. But right when you do that, the Saints will come back and just win. But Derek Carr has really regressed, and I just can't get over that terrible interception he threw last week. But usually, the team that gets blown out, they can show up the next week and do better. Both teams didn't look good, so it's hard to pick this one. So I guess I'm gonna go. I kind of want to go towards the Saints just because, excuse me, the Lions can sacrifice another loss. They'll just be 8-4, and they'll still be in first place. Whereas this win will help the Saints a little bit. That's kind of why I'm thinking the Saints might win. But they can't ever string together like a nice, clean game and games in a row. So like I just can't trust them. Whereas the Lions, I don't trust them that much either. But they've won 8 games, so they've only lost 3, so they've done some good things. Uh, I'm just gonna go with the Lions. Even though I don't feel good about it, I'm gonna go with the Lions because the Saints need to win more to stay in the picture. But I'm going Lions. Next, we got Atlanta versus the Jets. We just got news that Aaron Rodgers plans on coming back week 16. I can't imagine him doing that if they have a losing record. So this is a game they have to win. I picked the Jets. I gotta switch that over because I actually have Atlanta picked, but this was on Monday before I heard the Jets news. So I gotta pick the Jets there. Also, I changed my mind with the Patriots. And I got the Lions over there. All right. So next we got Arizona versus Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think I think that Pittsburgh will win this game, but Arizona will make it really tough on them. And you'll see that Kyler Murray is the best player on the field. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say, yeah, I'm going to pick Pittsburgh here just because they have their quarterback stinks. We know that. Kenny Pickett is not someone to really behold. In the 1980s, Kenny Pickett would have been their quarterback for 12 years, but nowadays he's not a good quarterback for what the NFL is and how offenses can be just so creative and what they're allowed to do. So, yeah, I think Pittsburgh just barely gets by Arizona, if that. But I think Arizona's going to make it tough on them. But I pick Pittsburgh. Next, we got the Colts versus the Titans. Oh yeah, we did this one already. I picked, I picked the Tennessee Titans over the Colts. All right, next we got Miami versus Washington. This is a trap game. Whenever it's a really good team versus a really bad team, it's so easy just to pick one side or the other, especially on the spread. Like, I think Miami will win this, but they're only favored by 7. Don't be surprised if they only win by 2 field goals or something stupid like that. But I pick Miami, though. I think Miami will win. Then we have Denver versus the Texans. This is going to be a good game. It can go either way. I think the Texans are probably going to win because I don't think either team can sacrifice a loss, honestly. If I look at the standings, which I don't have up right now, I could bring that up while I talk. But NFL standings. Yeah, so Denver, let's see, what's their record? I know they won 5 or 6 in a row. Whoops, what did, no. So Denver has, what are they? 6-5 they are. So they won 5 in a row. So they're in the playoff picture. It's the Dolphins right now, the Chiefs, Ravens, Jaguars, and then the Steelers and the Browns are the next ones after that. But how many playoff teams are there? Aren't there like 7 or something? I forget. I know they changed it. I know they added like more teams. I forget how many, but right now it's looking like there's a few stragglers. The Jets have to win out. Like right now they're not in the picture, but if they win out, if they beat Atlanta, you can start talking a little. But if they lose to Atlanta, it's basically over for the Jets. So they basically have to win. But the Patriots, it's looking like they're the worst team in the AFC based on record. So that means they're securing a top 5 pick for sure. Well, that hasn't happened very often there. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's the same nonsense. We're really going to have to see what happens at the end of the year. It's really going to come down to the end because we don't know what's going to happen with the Colts and the Texans. Like, we don't know how they're going to end off. The Titans are still kind of in it. Like, the AFC is still wide fucking open. The Bengals seem out of it, but they're still in it. What if they go on a 2-game streak and then Steelers and Browns lose too? Same record. Like, this shit can go any way the NFL wants it to go. We don't know any way it's going to go. It literally can go any way. The Raiders, the Broncos are still in it. If the Broncos win this week, they're literally knocking on the door. Let's say the Broncos win and the Chiefs lose. That they're 1 game away from each other. Like, that's huge. I don't think the Bills are making the playoffs. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. If we look on the NFC side, the Eagles, Niners, Lions, and then this shitty division. It's like, see, the Saints needed to beat the Falcons last week, so then they'd be 6-5 and a clear leader. Now they're 5-6. But I still would trust the Saints over the Falcons in a playoff setting. So I'm just gonna give that to the Saints just because. So that's 4 slots, and then what? There's 3 more slots after that. So it would be who? Looks like the Cowboys, yeah, and then the Seahawks, and then the Vikings. That's who would make it right now if the playoffs were to start. The Vikings, maybe. It would be between the Falcons and the Vikings based on tiebreakers and points and all that, so that would matter too. And then the Falcons would have to play another game. If they won, then it would come down to who beat who or points and all that. So, yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is we're not going to know who's going to be in the playoffs till the very last week. And that's how the NFL wants it. They don't want us to know anything anymore. Back in the day, before the season started, we were able to, even 15 years ago, for literally 10 years straight, we would know in the AFC and NFC which teams were making it. And it would be like that every single time. And it's not like that anymore. Now we don't even know if the Bills are going to make it. Shit, we don't even know if the Chiefs are going to clinch the division or the conference. We don't. It looks like they're, ahead 2 games, but anything can happen. What if, I don't know, Kelsey goes down? What if Mahomes goes down for a couple of games and they lose, Literally anything can happen. But with this, I think I'm gonna pick Denver because even if the Texans lose, they're still gonna be in the hunt. That division is gonna be so close. I think Denver has to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. So I'm picking Denver to win this. I had it on the Texans, but I switched. So that's the 3rd game I switched. Usually I don't do this. I usually keep my picks the way it is, but right now I'm talking myself out of this. Alright, so then now we got Carolina versus the Buccaneers. I'm just going to go Buccaneers. Don't waste too much time on that. Then we got the Niners versus the Eagles. I don't understand why this wasn't a night game. I really have no idea. But I'm going to go with the rule I always go with. The team that loses either the AFC, NFC championship games or the Super Bowl, and then they get the rematch in the regular season, that team that lost always wins. Well, not always. I'd say 90% of the time they win. I think that rule still applies, and we didn't get to see the Niners with Brock, so I think the NFL is going to let them win with Brock Purdy just to throw doubt in your mind, just in case this matchup happens again. So just be wary of that. So I would say that. So Eagles, Niners. I'm gonna pick the Niners to win this one, even though they're traveling to Philly. So it's either gonna be the Niners win because they took that bad L with no quarterback, or they're gonna just let Philly just trounce them just to have the Niners beat them in the playoffs. Who knows? Who knows how they'll have it play out? But I'm picking the Niners. Next, we got the Browns versus the Rams. The Rams, I want to see their record again. The Rams are 5-6, and the Browns are 7 games. The Browns would basically make the playoffs if the playoffs started, which would suck because they have no quarterback. They wouldn't go very far, but that defense is kind of crazy. But if the Rams do win, guys, they're in the playoff hunt. Like, say the Rams win, which is very possible, they're right in there. Because the Seahawks, I think they're going to lose. So say the Seahawks lose tomorrow. They're 6-6. And then the Rams win, they're 6-6. But if the Niners win, they're going to clinch that division. They're going to be up 3 games. But if the Niners lose, they're only going to be up 2 games, 8-4. So that means the Rams and the Seahawks are still knocking on the door. So looks like the NFC is still wide open as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Niners here because the Eagles, if they win again, they're gonna be 11-1. what a free, like it's just like it just seems too much. They need to take an L. They got to come back down to earth, I think. But they're very good at home though. Philly. That's the story they have for us. Cowboys and the Eagles play very well at home. That's what they keep emphasizing. So that's what you gotta also keep in the play. Uh, yeah, a lot of these teams that are leading in the division, I think they're gonna take L's. Like I'm almost second guessing that Lions pick. I think the Lions might lose because they can sacrifice another L just for the Saints to take another win because the Saints really shouldn't be losing again. They can't really sacrifice another L. So I'm actually gonna go back on that pick. I think the Saints might win, and the Lions just go on a 2-game losing streak, and then come back and win next week. Yeah, I'm gonna switch that Lions pick. I'm picking the Saints instead of the Lions. I think they want to make this a little bit more interesting, just based on these records. I don't want them to. I don't think they want us to think, "Oh, this team's out of it." I think they want us to think, "Oh, wow, this shit's going down to the wire." Every team has a chance. They don't want any fan base to feel out of it. Well, unless you're the Cardinals or the Patriots. Those are two of the worst record, and the Bears, right? And the Panthers. The Bears just won. So Panthers, Patriots, and Cardinals, three worst records. So the worst part is the Panthers. Their pick goes to the Bears, so that doesn't even matter. So they kind of are screwed. So it would be the Bears, and then it would be Cardinals, and then Patriots number three. And you gotta think to yourself, the Patriots are probably gonna pick a quarterback. Mac Jones has probably lived out his last few games, and they're gonna draft another rookie and reset the clock, someone better, and start over again. And there'll be somebody out there that would want Mac Jones as a backup. His confidence is gone. Like it's yanked. He's, you know what I mean. He's a shell. But back to the Browns and Rams. I think I'm gonna pick the Rams just because the Browns are in the playoff hunt, and the Rams need the win. I think the Seahawks are gonna lose, and then the Rams win, and then the Browns take another L. Because let's face it, the Browns making the playoffs is not good for the NFL. They have no quarterback. It's a good story, a good defense. I get it, but them making the playoffs, they're gonna end up being spoilers. That's gonna be their role from here on out. Their defense, they're gonna spoil people, but they're not gonna make it to the playoffs. I don't think. If their quarterback was healthy and playing properly, I'd say okay, yeah, this was the year for the Browns, but injury and attrition. So I'm gonna pick the Rams, and it's not even an upset. They're favored by one, but it's gonna be tough sledding on that defense. But I'm picking the Rams. All right, two more games: KC versus Green Bay. I picked KC, but I would not be surprised one bit if Green Bay won this game, guys. Just because, look at KC, they're hanging out at the top. They can sacrifice another loss. Like, whatever, it happens. It doesn't mean anything. They're still going to make the playoffs. They'll be all right. But the Packers, them winning, that makes this division, like, say the Packers win, right? And then the Lions lose. It makes it more interesting, is all I'm saying. If the Packers lose again, there's no intrigue. Especially for the Chiefs. They'll be 9 wins. It's like, there's no intrigue there. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I wouldn't be surprised one bit, guys, if the Packers won this game. So brace yourselves. I think it's going to be an offensive game. There's not going to be too much defense. Well, I shouldn't say that. Because the Chiefs, they've been playing some defense with Spagnuolo with those blitzes. That's what they've been telling us anyway. So I would brace yourselves for a really high-scoring game. And then last, we got the Bengals versus the Jags. I think the Jags will just walk away with this one. The Bengals might, come out with some energy in the beginning of the game. But then the Jags are just way more loaded. They have a better coach. Their situation is just much better right now. And I'll tell you what, if Joe B was there, I still pick the Jags. I think the Jags are just a better team right now. The Bengals have holes that need to be filled, and Joe Burrow was basically masking a lot of those holes. So with Joe B there, or not there right now, it's really showing you this is not a good team. You take Joe Burrow away, this is now the New England Patriots or the Cardinals, whatever. So I take the Jags convincingly. And that's the only game I feel decent about. I'm looking down this list. Out of all these games I picked, the Jags game is the only game I feel good about. And the Bucks. I feel like the Bucks should be able to beat Carolina. Even though Carolina has no benefit to losing out. They have no first round pick. Or overall anyway. What else? Miami. I don't even feel good about Miami. I think Washington is a spoiler. Who else? The Jets Atlanta game. I don't feel good about that. I picked the Jets, but not feeling good about it. I don't feel good about any of these games. Like, this is the week where it literally can go any way. Like, and honestly, if I do bad this week, I wouldn't be surprised. But we're going to stick with this. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And join me next week.